You have seen photos of space before. A glowing cloud, a field of stars, maybe a spiral galaxy floating like a cosmic pinwheel in the dark. You scroll past them, you admire them for a second, and then you move on, because they feel distant, flat, almost like paintings. But look closer. That image of a colorful nebula, those soft blues and violent reds, those are not brushstrokes. That is gas stretched across distances so large that light itself struggles to cross them. Light, the fastest thing we know, taking years just to go from one side to the other. And suddenly, the photo is no longer small. It is enormous. It is real. You are not looking at a picture. You are looking at a place. The best space photos from 2023 are not just beautiful. They are precise, captured with instruments so sensitive they can detect faint whispers of light that began traveling before humans existed. Some of that light started its journey before the pyramids were built, some before agriculture, some before our species even learned to speak, and it arrives here, quietly, into a detector, into an image, onto your screen. You are seeing the past, not metaphorically, literally. A single pixel in one of these images might represent thousands of stars, entire solar systems compressed into a dot so small your eye barely notices it. And yet, each of those stars could have planets, worlds, skies, maybe oceans, maybe nothing. We don't know. That's the point. These images are not just showing us what exists. They are showing us how little of it we understand. Every glowing cloud hides chaos. Every dark patch hides something unseen. Gravity pulling, matter forming, stars being born and dying in silence. All of it happening right now, even if the light we see is millions of years old, because that's the trick space plays on you. It separates what you see from what is happening. The universe you look at is already gone. Every image is a memory, a fossil made of light, and yet it feels alive. It feels close, because you are here, looking at it, trying to understand something that does not care whether you do or not. That's what makes these images different. They don't just show space, they reveal scale. And once you begin to feel that scale, you can't unsee it. Because the moment you realize what you are actually looking at, everything familiar starts to feel very, very small. And this is only the beginning, because the deeper you go into these images, the less the universe looks like a place you recognize, and the more it begins to feel like something you were never meant to fully understand. Start with something simple, a star. In one of the most detailed space images from 2023, you see a bright point of light surrounded by a faint glow. It looks calm, almost gentle, like something you could reach out and touch if only you were close enough. But that single point of light could be larger than our entire solar system, not metaphorically, physically. If you placed our sun inside some of the largest known stars, there would still be room left over, enough space to fit the orbit of Earth, and then some. The scale is not just big, it is absurd. And yet, in the image, it is just a dot. That is how space hides its size. It compresses the unimaginable into something your eyes can accept. Move a little further. Now you are looking at a nebula, one of those massive clouds of gas and dust that glow with color. In 2023, new ultra-high-definition images revealed details we had never seen before. Pillars of gas stretching for light years, cavities carved by radiation, regions where stars are forming right now. You are watching creation. But here's what that really means. A single one of those pillars could be several light years tall. 1 light year is about 9.5 trillion kilometers. If you tried to drive across that distance at highway speed, say 100 kilometers per hour, it would take over 10 million years to cross just 1 light year. 10 million years for 1 unit. And those structures are multiple light years long. You are not looking at clouds, but you are looking at continents of gas. And inside them, gravity is slowly pulling matter together, compressing it, heating it, until one day, without warning, a new star ignites. It begins to shine. And from that moment, the clock starts ticking. Because stars do not last forever. Some of the most haunting images from 2023 captured the aftermath of stellar death. Supernova remnants, vast expanding shells of gas thrown outward when a massive star collapses and explodes. In the image, it looks like a delicate ring, almost fragile, but that ring could be dozens of light years across, expanding at thousands of kilometers per second, faster than anything humans have ever built. And the explosion that created it? For a brief moment, it can outshine an entire galaxy. Think about that. One star, brighter than hundreds of billions of others combined, and then it fades, leaving behind a ghost, a structure so large that if it were placed where our sun is, it would stretch far beyond the orbit of Pluto, swallowing everything we know, gone in an instant, but expanding for thousands of years. Now go further, zoom out. You begin to see galaxies, not just one, many. In some of the deepest images taken in 2023, tiny smudges fill the frame. Each one is a galaxy. Each one contains billions of stars. Billions. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, has somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. And in these images, you are seeing thousands of galaxies at once. Thousands. It is easy to say the number. It is harder to feel it. So imagine this. Every grain of sand on every beach on Earth, there are roughly 7 quintillion grains. That's a 7 followed by 18 zeros. It sounds enormous. But the number of stars in the observable universe is estimated to be even higher. Far higher. Now, look at the image again. Each dot is a galaxy full of stars, and there are more beyond the frame. Always more. This is where something shifts. Up to this point, you could still imagine being there, standing near a star, floating through a nebula, watching a supernova from a safe distance. But here, the scale breaks your intuition. You are no longer a traveler. You are a spectator. Because even if you moved at the speed of light, it would take you over 100,000 years just to cross our galaxy. And the nearest large galaxy, Andromeda, is about 2.5 million light years away. 2.5 million years. Just for light to make the journey. And you are looking at images containing galaxies much farther than that. Some so distant that the light you see left them when Earth was a very different place. When continents were arranged differently. When life itself was still evolving in the oceans. You are looking into deep time and deep space at once. This is the gut punch. You are small, not just physically, temporally. Your entire life, every memory, every moment, every breath fits into a fraction of a second on the cosmic scale. And the universe does not pause for it. It does not notice. It expands relentlessly. In 2023, some images pushed even further. Observations reaching back over 13 billion years, close to the beginning of the universe itself. Galaxies that are faint, distorted, stretched by cosmic expansion, and you are seeing them as they were when the universe was young, barely formed. And this raises a question that refuses to go away. If the universe was once smaller, and it has been expanding ever since. Then what does it look like now, beyond what we can see? You sit in a quiet room, a screen in front of you, pixels arranged into shapes your brain recognizes, stars, clouds, galaxies. You have never been to any of these places. You will never go to most of them. And yet, somehow, they feel familiar because you understand what they are, or at least, you think you do. The best space photos from 2023 do something strange. They make the universe feel both closer and farther away at the same time. Closer, because we can see it in such detail. Farther, because that detail reveals just how vast it really is. You are looking at reality, an unfiltered, and it is overwhelming. But here is the part that changes everything. Every atom in your body was once part of a star, not metaphorically, literally. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen you breathe, the iron in your blood, these elements were forged in the cores of stars in processes that take millions of years. And when those stars died, they scattered that material into space, into clouds, into new systems, into you. You are not separate from what you are seeing. You are made of it. That distant nebula in the image, it is doing now what once happened to create you. That exploding star, it is continuing a cycle that made your existence possible. The universe is not just out there, it is in here. And yet, it does not feel personal. Because the universe does not act with intention. It does not create stars so that life can form. It does not explode stars so that elements can spread. These are consequences, natural outcomes of physical laws playing out over unimaginable time. There is no plan, only process. And still, somehow, that process led to this moment. You, looking at an image, thinking about it, trying to understand something that is so much bigger than you that it should be impossible to grasp. And maybe it is, but that does not stop you from trying. That is what makes this strange. In a universe that is silent, you ask questions. In a universe that does not care, you feel awe. You look at an image of a galaxy billions of light years away, and something inside you reacts, not with fear, not with indifference, but with wonder. And that wonder matters, not to the universe, but to you, because it changes how you see everything else. Your problems, your time, your place in the world. They shrink, not in a way that makes them meaningless, but in a way that makes them clearer. You are small, yes, but you are also rare. As far as we know, there are no other places in the universe where the cosmos looks back at itself and tries to understand what it is seeing. That might not always be true, but right now, it might be. And that makes this moment unusual, temporary, precious. These images from 2023 will exist long after you are gone. The light they captured will continue to travel. New images will be taken, deeper, sharper, reaching further back in time. The universe will keep unfolding. Stars will form. Galaxies will collide. Space itself will stretch further and further apart. And you will not be here to see it. But you are here now. And right now, you are part of this. A small, thinking piece of a vast, indifferent universe, looking at itself for just a moment. And then, not.